Hello and welcome to the lesson today on suffixes and prefixes. Thank you very much for those of you who have joined the lesson today and are regular students. It's lovely to have you here. Hello to those of you in the chat. It's very nice to have you here. And my name is Sam and I will be your teacher today for this online lesson. So before we start, I would like to quickly talk about our company before talking about the grammar lesson for today. So I work for a company called Cercle based in Paris, where we primarily teach business English. And our aim is to help you become more proficient in language capabilities, your English speaking for business and private purposes. So thank you very much for all of you who have joined today. This topic is on suffixes and prefixes. Okay, so we're going to be talking about at the beginning and at the end of specific words. So let's have a look at some examples. I'm going to write the topic of the talk in the chat. So we have suffixes. Should write down prefixes first, as they come at the beginning of the word, and suffixes normally come at the end of the word. Okay, so normally we do a fun fact to start the lesson, but with grammar, I would like to ask a question to see how more already know. So my first question is about a prefix. So some letters that we put in the beginning of some words. One example of a prefix is pre. So you might be thinking, what is a prefix and what is a suffix? Why do we use them? Why are they important? They are important because just by adding a couple of letters on the start or the end of the word, we can completely change the meaning. And it's important if you're reading English, if you're talking to someone, that you correctly understand what they're saying. I would just like to quickly start with an example for those of you. So I've written the prefix pre. So remember, prefix comes at the beginning of the word. So I've written pre. Another word that begins with pre is prevent. Okay, so let me write another one. Precaution is a good example. So the word here, precaution, means that we need to take action. We need to be careful of a situation. Okay, we talk about precaution because this word specifically defines the action of paying attention and being careful before. For example, I could say, I need to take precautions when going outside. What I'm saying is that I need to prepare before going outside. A caution is something you do to help protect yourself. A precaution is something you can do before going into a dangerous situation. So I understand that this type of grammar can be difficult, but there will be many examples in the lesson that we will discuss. So I started by asking if anyone knew of words that began with pre. Liliana has written pre-cooked. This is a fantastic example, Liliana. Thank you very much for this. When we cook something, or in the past tense, we say cooked by adding the ed on the end. If we talk about pre-cooking something, it means cooking it. There's two steps, let's say, for example. We have a big chicken, and in order to cook this chicken, which is really big, We need to first cook it in the oven. We need to pre-cook it. We need to make sure that it's clean on the outside. And then after we have pre-cooked it for maybe 20 to 30 minutes, we can put it in the hotter oven. We can heat it and cook it properly. We can also pre-cook other things. So what I'm trying to explain is that when we use specific prefixes, for example, pre, we refer to doing the action before. Okay, so it's talking about something we do before. I understand that this might be difficult, a difficult concept to understand, but I promise you after this lesson, it will be much clearer for you all. We have another example, which Ellen has written down. Ellen has written down pre-order. Fantastic. So an order is when something is sent to you, okay? When you order something online, let's say, for example, a new t-shirt, okay? I need some new shirts. I can go online, I can find a shop, and I can order a color or a t-shirt or shorts. If I pre-order, it means that the shirts aren't available, but I'm going to order it before they come available. Okay? I understand that there are not as many comments on the chat today. Please do let me know if you don't understand, if it's unclear. I would just like to give some other examples. We have some other students who are commenting. Thank you very much. Elodie has written premeditated, which goes to show something which has been planned in advance. Something's been planned in the past. They've planned this action before doing it. This we normally refer to crimes on the news as being premeditated. For example, this bank robbery was premeditated by 2 or 3 people. Okay, so it goes to explain again an action before something's happened. So we have another question here. So order and pre-order. Nana, thank you very much. I will do my best to explain again. Let's say, or let's use the board. We have some boxes, and to keep it simple, I want to order a box. There are 2 companies, company A and company B. Okay? Company A have loads of small blue boxes, okay? I'll try and draw them on the grid. Company A have loads of small boxes. I need a big box. So today is the 22nd of April. Okay, that might be quite small. Today is the 22nd of April. On the 25th of April, Company B are going to sell really big boxes. So today, I can buy small boxes from Company A. The 22nd of April, I can buy small boxes. But because Company B today, the 22nd, doesn't have their big box, it means I need to order it today, but then I will get it on the 25th. I hope that's clear, Nana. We'll move on because I think it will become clearer the more examples we do. And a couple of weeks ago, we were doing lessons on vocabulary. It was really easy for you all. You're really good students. So I thought I would test you all today. So we have some really other good examples by Monique, who's written preview, something that you see before. So we have a big lesson today. I realize that we've used up some time already. Given the time, I would like to quickly talk about the differences between a prefix and a suffix. Maybe it might be easier if I use my board. So, prefix, as we said, goes at the beginning of a word, and it can often change the meaning of that word. So let's say happy. Okay, happy means that you're feeling really good, you've had a good day, everything's going well, it's sunny in Paris, there's loads to be happy about. Happy. If maybe it starts to rain, you have loads of work, it's not a good day, we can add the letters U and N to the front of happy to make unhappy. This means that you are no longer happy. Okay? The rain is here, you have loads of work, you become unhappy. Okay? So hopefully that's a clear example of how prefixes can change some vocabulary in English. So I will now quickly like to do an exercise. So we're going to try and speed this lesson up and test you. I am going to write a prefix, for example, un, and I would like you all to think of words which use this prefix. And then as you're writing, I'm going to explain how this prefix has changed the word that you've written. So I see some fantastic answers above. Unhappy obviously means you're not happy. Liliana has written unkind. So someone who is kind is very generous, is very happy. They like to help. They are kind. If they are unkind, that means they're grumpy, they're sad, and they do not want to help. So it really changes the meaning of the word. Fantastic example, Liliana. Let's have a look. Mark has another great suggestion here. Unfortunately. We talk about using the word fortunate if something good happens. It is fortunate that the weather is sunny today. Okay, it's a positive word we use. If you say if you put the words un at the front of fortunately, again it changes the meaning. So do you see, if we use un at the start of some words, normally it completely changes the meaning of the word to the opposite. If I read out some other examples for those of you who are watching in the future and can't see the chat, we have unavailable, fantastic. Unbelievable, really good, Alina. Unmotivated, fantastic, Hamza. Unavailable, unnecessary, unemployed. I have here unorganized, unskilled. So again, we see that un changes the meaning of the word. Okay. In the interest of time, I need to move on to suffixes soon. So let's talk about a couple more and then we'll move to suffixes. And I also have a short test after each category to make sure that you've all been listening and to see if you know your prefixes and suffixes. So this one is more difficult. Anti. Okay, so this is another prefix and it can also have the same meaning as un. So what words can you think of that start with anti? It's a very difficult one. It's not very common. So when we anticipate something, it's when we're getting ready. I think that word starts with anti, but it's a fantastic suggestion, Elodie. Thank you. Antibacterial. That's a really good example. So obviously, if a product is antibacterial, it means it's going to fight against the bacteria. Antibiotic, another good example. An antibiotic is something we ingest, something we take to help fight off bacteria. Yes, and anti-government, I think these go to show the opposition towards the word which you use afterwards. Fantastic example. Let's do one more quickly. This one's very easy, and I think it's one of the most common prefixes, and it has a really important meaning. So what words can you think of that start with RE? I can help you out quickly. I think of restart. So when you re and then have a verb or a word, it means you are doing the action again. So for the example I used, a restart, if, for example, my laptop is not working, I will restart it. I will start it again. Okay, so it's the action of doing something again. Replay, Hamza has written. That's fantastic. So a replay is when you're shown something, a clip on TV, again. So again, you see this recurring theme of these things, these actions being done again. Rewind, fantastic. It means to go back and watch the same clip again. To relive, we often relive memories. Refresh and return, we have some fantastic answers. Thank you for sharing. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to write a word and I would like you to guess the prefix. Okay, so let's try this exercise. The word I'm going to write down is natural. What do you think a prefix for natural could be? There's not one right answer. There could be a couple, but let's see what suggestions that you come up with. So the word natural is in reference to nature. If something is natural, it could be in reference to something you see outside, something which is not man-made. It's there for nature. So here, remember the prefixes. Thank you for your suggestions. They're excellent that you're trying. But the prefix goes at the beginning of the word. So if you've added letters on the end, that's a suffix. So we're still talking about prefixes, but you're exactly right. You found some suffixes too. And Hamza has written here, unnatural. So that's perfect, Hamza. If something is unnatural, it means it's not normal. Perhaps if someone applies too much makeup, it might look unnatural. But no, thank you all for trying. It's no problem if you make a mistake. I was thinking of supernatural. What does supernatural mean? Does anyone know what supernatural means? So we have unnatural for something which doesn't look realistic, it doesn't look real, it might look a bit fake. If we talk about something being supernatural, what do you think that means? It's a very difficult question. As I said before, I wanted to test those students who always get the right answer. So we have some really nice suggestions. As I mentioned always, there's no issues in making mistakes. We're all here to learn something new. So some of the suggestions in the chat are that supernatural means it's 100% nature. You know, this mountain can't get any more natural. But unfortunately, this is not the meaning for supernatural. If I talk about something being supernatural, it could be perhaps I'm talking about a ghost or an alien or something which is really strange. A supernatural experience could be when I saw a ghost. Exactly. Paranormal. That's a fantastic word, Christelle. Thank you. So we've talked about prefixes, and hopefully, given we don't have a lot of time, you at least understand and are able to recognize different prefixes and their meanings. So now, if we just brush aside prefixes, we're going to start talking very briefly about suffixes, which go at the end of a word. So where's my pen? Here it is. So I'd quickly like to give you an example just to make it clearer for you all. So we said unkind before, which was our prefix. We can also say kindness. So kindness, we've turned this adjective into a noun. Okay, so if someone shows you kindness, it means they're showing you generosity. Perhaps they've given you something. Perhaps you have a problem and they have helped you. Okay, you can be kind, but you show kindness. Okay, let's rub this one off. I will show you another example. Another suffix, if I write it here, is full. We can say helpful. Okay, if someone helps out a lot, they are very helpful. Okay, can we think of any other words that end in full? Fantastic, Elodie, that was really fast, excellent. Painful. Okay, if you experience pain, perhaps you have cut yourself or you've hurt your arm. It's a painful experience, but you are in pain. Monique, another fantastic answer, has written useful. Okay, I might have a use for this pen. It is very useful. Careful, fantastic, wonderful, powerful. Yeah, hopeful. We have some really good suggestions. Thank you all for your contributions. They're really good. So again, just like before with prefixes, to try and show you the meaning and try to help explain why we use suffixes, I want to see how many you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the prefix in again to the chat, and I would like you to come up with some examples for that suffix. So which one should I choose? So for those of you who were with us yesterday for the lesson on adverbs, a common way to recognize an adverb, which is a word which describes a verb like slowly or quickly, is to look for the suffix ly. Okay, so what words can you think of that end in ly? Okay, let's do this as a race. Who can be the first one to write down a word with the suffix ly? So let's, okay. We have some suggestions. We have carefully, exactly. Frequently, we have lovely, we have sadly, kindly, exactly. We have some fantastic examples. So again, we're turning adjectives into adverbs. So fantastic. Okay, we have some really good suggestions here, guys. Thank you very much again. In the interest of time, we still have a couple of more suffixes to talk about. So if you ever want to change a noun into an adjective, we can use the suffix ous. So can you think of any words that end in ous? So again, we're turning nouns into adjectives. For example, dangerous. Okay, so I purposely chose this topic today as a challenge for all of you. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, Mark was very quick there. Dangerous too. Famous, precious, fantastic, gorgeous, marvelous. So again, yes, we need to remember that sometimes words do end in ous, but it's important to recognize when a word's been changed with the suffix. So if I am in danger, let's say that I've fallen off a boat in the middle of the sea. I am in danger, but it's a dangerous situation. Okay, so there I'm referring to a dangerous situation, the adjective being dangerous, sorry, and I'm talking about the situation, and I'm referring to myself being in danger. So I hope that's clear and it explains. I think with suffixes, it's really important to just talk about the different examples and it becomes clearer as to how you use them. So I have one more here, which is really quite common too. And I can see you're all still writing, which is fantastic. Thank you again for your contributions. And it's really nice to see you trying and using your English and practicing that. So thank you all again. So the last suffix I'd like to talk about is a very common one. And here we turn adjectives or verbs into nouns using this suffix. So if I can give you an example, invention. So I can invent something. Invent is obviously a verb and it's the action of creating something new. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. So he was an inventor, but the invention is the light bulb. It's the thing that he created. Okay, satisfaction, fantastic. We can be satisfied. I'm satisfied with my students' performance on the YouTube Live. It gives me satisfaction. That's a really good suggestion, Elodie. Thank you very much for that. A complication, fantastic, Monique. So often things can be complicated. The lesson today is very complicated. It can give complications to students. Fantastic. And again, the ION ending is common in words too. So the points I want to get across is how we turn these verbs and adjectives into nouns. So again, it's fantastic that you're all trying to write and trying to guess words with the suffixes. It's fantastic. So I'd like to quickly go through some examples. What I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a word, for example, rapid. Then I'm going to write down 3 different suffixes, and I would like you to choose which suffix you think is the correct one. So what I'd like to do is OUS. Is it able or is it ly? Do we say rapidus, rapidable, or rapidly? What do you think? Okay, so the first students who have responded think it's rapidly. Let's see if anyone else disagrees. Okay, so I'm guessing that everyone agrees with the students so far, and you're absolutely right. We do say rapidly. So again, we're turning this adjective into an adverb. I could talk rapidly. It means that I talk very fast. Okay, my next word is driver. Is it driverness, driverless, or driverous? What do you think the suffix is for driver? So I'm just waiting for the responses in the chat to see what people think. And again, I chose these specifically to try and catch out the students who always get the right answer. I want to find a lesson one day where it's very difficult. Okay, so again, you've made some fantastic answers here. There's a bit of a divide here in the chat. So I would say it's 50-50 between driverless and driverness. So it's very interesting. They're very similar. The answer is driverless. So if we talk about something being driverless, it means that that word has been removed. So the driver in this word has been removed. We often talk now about driverless cars. It means cars with no driver. So the driver is obviously the person who turns the wheel and controls the car. If it's driverless, it means there's no driver in the car. Okay, I'm going to do another quick exercise. I'm going to write a word like I wrote natural earlier. And instead of guessing the prefix, you're going to guess the suffix, the letters that go at the end of the word. So again, I've designed these to be difficult. So it's no problem if you make a mistake. It's very hard. So suit. What do you think the suffix could be for suit? If everyone has difficulties in finding the suffix, I will give 3 options as to what it could be, but I just want to see your knowledge of suffixes. And if you're unsure, hopefully one of the other students will help you understand the vocabulary. Okay, so Sandy, that's a fantastic answer, Sandy. She is correct, and she was the first student to respond. Thank you all for your comments now. But we talk about something being suitable. It means that it is acceptable. If my shirt is suitable for the lesson, it means that it's okay. It's acceptable. Okay. So that was the last question, unfortunately, about the lesson today. I would personally like to thank you all for joining. Our old students who come every lesson, I really do appreciate it, and I recognize those of you who join. And a special thank you to the new students who joined. Please, if you know other people, the aim here and the aim for me is to help you and to try and make your day better. So if you know anyone else who would love to learn English, then please invite them along. If you haven't read the description below or subscribed, please do. We have lessons every day at 3 p.m. and I look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. Have a lovely evening and thank you again, everyone.